Right. Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm audible to you. Good evening. So, what was the last topic we discussed on? So, have you gone through the static malware analysis? Hmm. So, is there any doubts in the static malware analysis? Have you tried that Qbot extracting the PNG file? Have you tried the suspicious document? Have you downloaded any sample from the malware bazaar? Has anyone tried? What happened? All right. So, today we'll go through the dynamic malware analysis. So, when it comes to the static scenario, without executing the file, we need to analyze whether that file contains any malware or not. So that is what code analysis we can say. So there we extract the files, file hashing, string analysis, header analysis, and we confirm that whether the file contains any malicious actions or not, right? So when it comes to the dynamic malware analysis, it is also known as the behavioral analysis we have, right? So it is also known as behavioral analysis means we are going to execute. So it involves the executing the malware, right? To know how it interacts with the host system and what impact on or what impact it creates we need to analyze on the system after infection. So this is what we call as a behavioral analysis. So to perform the behavioral analysis, we need a environment called sandbox. So we need a sandbox environment. So sandbox environment is nothing but it's an isolated environment. It's a isolated environment. Got it? Is that clear? Just give me a second. Right. So, as we discussed in last session, that malware analysis are of two types. So, first of all, malware analysis is nothing but it's a process of reverse engineering a specific piece of malware. So, to determine the origin, functionality, impact of a given malware here. Right. So, to determine the functionality and the impact of a malware. So that malware analysis can be happen in two ways. One is static malware analysis, another one is dynamic malware analysis. So in last session, we discussed about the static malware analysis where we went for the code analysis by analyzing their strings, file hashes, headers, right? So through that, we performed that analysis and we got to know what it can be, what it's do inside our system, what script it is going to execute, where the connections are establishing. So all these things we have enumerated, right? So we didn't got the impact what it creates there. If you observe, we didn't get any impact. మనకి impact అక్కడ రాలేదు. So we got to know that it's just a malware. We got to know that it is going to perform a malicious activities, right? So that is what we got to know in the static malware analysis. When it comes to the dynamic scenario here, so dynamic malware analysis is nothing but here where we execute the malware. So where we run the malware. So by running that malware, we'll get to know the impact it creates, what activity it will trigger, what files it will modify in our systems. So that is what we can see in the dynamic malware analysis. Got my point? So it is also known as impact analysis, you can say, or behavior analysis also you can consider. Why is my device is slow? Just give me a second, guys. 1 minute. I think something went wrong with my device. Right. So today we are going to discuss about the dynamic malware analysis. So to perform the dynamic malware analysis, we need to have a setup. So what is that setup called? Sandbox. So what is sandbox here? Just now I told you. Sandbox is like a isolated environment. So you can create your own sandbox like using the VMware. So you have VMware workstation, right? So you can make that environment as a sandbox environment. Means install one operating system. It may be a Linux or Windows, and you can execute the file in that system, and you can use that monitoring tools, and you can analyze what changes the system is making, what files it is modifying, what files it is deleting, what services it is running. You can analyze that one by one. Or else you have the cloud environments like AnyRun. I personally use AnyRun, but the drawback with this is you need a business mail ID. If you have a college mail IDs, you can use them to run, or else you need a business mail ID. It's a paid tool actually. Alternate of this you have is hybrid hybrid malware analysis tool, Cuckoo Sandbox. You can go with the Cuckoo Sandbox, right? Or else you have a Joe Sandbox. Like that, there are some alternates. So if you are not able to get a mail ID of college mail ID or any business mail IDs, you can try to use this alternate sandbox environments. Okay. So either you can create your own workstation, VMware workstation as a sandbox here, or else you can use the alternate cloud environments. So most of the sandbox environments means like good or real-time interaction environments are paid services only. And normal environment basis, basic information, you have open sources also, right? So what we are going to analyze, as you see, we are analyzing this, right? So we are going to see the registry changes, what processes are activated, what network activities, what APIs are monitoring, right? So the advantage with the dynamic analysis is you can reveal the real behavior. You can detect the real-time actions, right? But the drawback with this is malware may detect the VM and sandbox. And if your isolation is failed, that may lead your system to be damaged again. Means it will infect your primary system also. Getting my point? You guys able to follow me? Right. So that's a drawback, limitations we have with the sandbox. Sorry, dynamic malware analysis. So in static, we couldn't able to find when a malware is encrypted, it is a bit difficult to analyze that. That is a limitation we have in the static malware analysis. When it comes to the dynamic malware analysis, if you're not properly isolate the environment, that will be very dangerous. Okay, and even dynamic malware analysis will consume a lot of time compared to the static scenarios. Got it? So combination of these two we called as a hybrid malware analysis. So most of the organizations will perform the hybrid malware analysis. Hybrid means combination of static and dynamic analysis. So most professionals malware investigations use the hybrid approach only. So first you need to understand how malware will works internally, and then you need to understand the program execution paths, and then you can perform this analysis here. Got it? Is that clear, everyone? Dynamic malware analysis means. So in static, we didn't execute anything. We just seen that strings, headers, entropy analysis, we did that. And comes to the dynamic, where we are analyzing the activities, their actions, what impacts they are creating, what changes they are making, completely in detail. Right. So we need to go with process monitor, Wireshark tools, process inception tools. Like that, we can use that and we can go for dynamic malware analysis. Right. So the combination of static and dynamic we called as a, what do you say, hybrid malware analysis. Right. So to perform the hybrid malware analysis, I'm just taking these things as a target. So I'm going with a hybrid first, hybrid tool. So you have a hybrid malware analyzer. So it's a free open source tool only. So hybridanalysis.com. So you can use this tool. So you can drag, you can give the link or you can give a application also, like file. So imagine I'm having a malware file. Imagine I'm having a MIT. It's a banking Trojan. I'll just upload this file. I'll click on agree, not a robot, and then go with the continue option here. So they will only provide the environment. So in which environment you want to run this application, it will run on that application and it will give the output what it did. You know, we got to know the file is clean. Why it says that file is clean? Hmm. Why this tool says that file is clean? Malware is encrypted. Exactly. It's a zip file. So when you zip, obviously the signature will be different. So it couldn't able to find that. So when you click on more details, so when you scroll down, it contains a bundle. Means inside that file, inside the zip, there is a file called 7C. When you click on that, now it will give that file information, complete file information, like what the file, what it goes, dropped file, so their incident response, techniques. And click on all the details. It will give a complete report for you. Right. So this is one type of tool. So here you have a report option. But I personally use this one, any.run. But remember, the drawback with this tool is you need a business mail ID. Okay, one of the finest tool for malware analysis, I can say. Uh, they have a lot of features, threat hunting you can do. Like it's completely isolated environment. It's a good sandbox, I can say. So even they are recently empowering the SOC performance. So with cutting edge solutions, interactive sandbox, TI lookup, threat intelligence lookup, threat intelligence feeds also they're providing. Hmm, nice. So when you click on this get started, I'll show you. I have registered with this tool long back ago. I'm using almost last 6 years. I'm using this tool, literally. Like 2018 onwards, I'm using this tool, any.run tool. If you see, still my mail ID was registered with. Uh, if you see, when I go with login, I'm using my mail ID only. You can say I'm using the Gmail only. At that time, they allowed me to use the Gmails to register with this website. But now, if you try to log in with the Gmail, it is not allowing you. It's asking the business mail ID. Like last year only, they mean to implement that. They did that actually. Right. So you can see they are providing all these options. Submit a file, email also it will analyze, submit the URL, check any suspicious links, like threat feeds you have, threat lookups also you have here. IVOS is all these things. For example, let me go with a submit file here. So you can just click on this. You can give that file. Right. So here you have a pro mode. Pro mode is like hunter we call, but it requires paid version. So how much time they are providing for you to analyze the malware? ఎంత టైం ఇస్తున్నారు చూడండి, 60 seconds. Only 1 minute time they are providing you to analyze the malware as a free basis. సో మీరు కొంచెం పేడ్ సర్వీస్ తీసుకుంటే ఎక్కువసేపు ఇస్తారు. సో నౌ దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ విత్ ది ఫ్రీ బేసెస్ విత్ ది లిమిటెడ్ సర్వీసెస్ దే ఆర్ ప్రొవైడింగ్. ఓన్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ అన్ ఆప్షన్ విండోస్ 10 అండ్ విండోస్ 7 ఓన్లీ. సో రిమైనింగ్ యూ నీడ్ టు గో విత్ ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ సూట్, మీన్స్ ప్రొఫెషనల్ వర్షన్ కొనాలి. ఫ్రీ దాంట్లో ఓన్లీ విండోస్ 10 ఇస్తున్నారు. Even previous also I didn't get the Windows 10, Windows 7 only they provided, but recently Windows 10 also they are providing. So remaining environments, if you want to run any malware, Ubuntu they given, Android also they given. If you want to check the Android file also you can check. Debian if you want, you need a enterprise suite. So they're providing only limited operating systems. So means no need to install VMware in that, no need to have the Windows 10 in that, no need to use the monitoring tools, nothing to do in a manual scenario. That is completely manual scenario. Now, if you go with the cloud environments like any.run, it's a malware analysis tool, dynamic malware analysis tool. Like it's kind of a sandbox, we can say. So this sandbox is cloud-based sandbox. Means they only provide the windows, they only provide the monitoring tools, everything. Just you need to run the file in that environment, and it will collect all the detailed information what it is doing in background in our system after executing. After executing that file, what it's doing in the background will be analyzed by the any run tool. So when I click on this run and public analysis, just go with agree. If you see, they'll provide the Windows 10 for you. If you observe, here you can see the timer. Timer was started. So here it is providing you the environment, Windows 10. In this, you can open that file. So when you run that file, what it's doing, it will give the complete detailed environment here. You can see that. I'm just opening that file. So whatever I do, here every process will be captured in whatever it's the things running in the background will be captured here. Can you able to see that? Here you're performing, you're opening that file, that's it. You're not able to see what's happening in the background. This tool is providing you like how many HTTP requests it made, the connections it made, the DNS request it made, the network threats. Right? Can you see that? So even every program it will give you where it was, the network thread, the message, the thread details, what it is connecting, what is the destination IP, source port, destination port, everything it will use, stream data, every information it will provide for you. And even they provided the AI also. When you click on AI, it will give the summary of that. It will explain you what it is. Getting my point? You guys are able to follow me? So that's why I said AnyRun is one of the finest tool for malware analysis, one of the finest sandbox I can say, which we have in the market. Right? So you can analyze this file here. So you can open every process what it did in the target. So you're gonna go with more info. It will give you detailed information, what events it change, what registries, what connections, what modules, everything it will give you. You guys able to follow me? I'm not having a file, but I have the link of the malware which I have analyzed previously. Just give me a second, I'll get that link. I just bookmarked that malware analysis. So I lost that file actually. So there is a file actually which I tried, a doc file. So when I open the doc file, it is redirecting to a website. From there again, it dropped a file. When I open the file, it shows like edit option. So you can see it's already analyzed file I'm having. If you have any file, not only file, you have many options here. Even you can visit the sites. In that sites, if it is running any ads, what ads do. When I click on that ads, where it is redirecting. When I click on that ads, what files it is dropping, whether it is malicious or not. Everything you can analyze here. What happened to my device today? It's getting very slow. Yeah. So here you have the URL also. You can visit any URL. Can mention that. Or you have a safe browsing option. In safe browsing, you can mention that. For example, previously I visited this Tamil ME websites. Browse. Or else in last sessions, I shown you about the get into PC. Let's take this website only. You can see the website, the torrents website which I visited. Right. So when I click on any of this link, everything it will capture. Here they have given 5 minutes of time. So within 5 minutes, you can browse anything. So whatever you browse, that will be captured in background. You can analyze that browsing also. For example, I just clicked on this links, the torrents links. When I went to the torrents. So if you see the network inspection here, you can see the connections it is making in the background. Threads, can you able to see the network threads? Can you guys able to see the network threads? Every thread you can analyze. Again, you can open the thread, you can analyze DNS request it made in background. So just it looks like a website. You are clicking on that link, it is redirecting to another website, but in background, it is trying to connect with all these links. They are trying to drop in your system. Got my point? So this is by browsing you can stop and browsing also you can do that. Or else you can give the URL and you can analyze that URL whether that domain is genuine or not. Is that a phishing domain or not? So like that you can analyze them. So I have given get into PC here. So it will open in the browser with that link H. So in that you can open the operating system. In that pick any one of the operating system. And I shown you in last session. When I click on this downloads now, it is redirected to some unknown website. You remember that? So here you have a download option. When I click on download, and it is asking something here. So here you can see every process it will be stored here. Every process you can open. In that any malicious process is that triggered or not, you can check. So it says try to stop the ad blocker or something like that. So time is up. So within the time you can see what are the networks it connected. So there is a potential bad traffic. So what is the traffic? It is establishing a connection. So like that, you can able to analyze each and every activity here. Got my point? You guys able to follow me? My device is a bit slow today. Don't mind. కొంచెం స్లో ఉందనుకో. ఇలా నాకు తెలిసి నిన్న మాల్వేర్ ఏదో రన్ చేసినట్టున్నాను, ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది. Right. So using this sandbox environments, any.run can analyze the malware, can give each and every malware. So I said that we have the link, right? If you see, I lost that file, but I have analyzed the activity. So this is that file actually. So if you just observe here that scenario, so scenario అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి try చేయండి. If you see here, I visited a website here. Okay. So I visited this website. So when I visited this website, can you see a file was dropped? A document file was dropped. Can you able to see that? Here you have at the bottom. Yeah, in this position. It's already captured file I'm showing you. You can see there is a document. So if you say just visiting that website, some files will be dropped in your system. We call that as a downloaders or droppers. So you can say a doc file was downloaded. So what we do in general, if any doc file was downloaded or there in our system, we'll try to open that. So when you open that file, what it is saying here? What it is saying here? It says the document was created in an online version of Microsoft Office Word. So to view or edit the document, please click on Enable Editing. Where is Enable Editing? Here at the top. Can you see the Enable Editing? Is that visible for you? Right. So when I click on that Enable Editing, again it is popping with the same message. But now is that showing Enable Editing here? ఇప్పుడు చూపిస్తుందా Enable Editing అక్కడ? No. And that means what happened here exactly? The attacker tricked you people to click that link. Simple చెప్పాలి అంటే. అర్థమైందా? The attacker tricked you to run that macros in the background. Why? Because some macros require a user actions, right? A predefined action is required. So that is how they made. So once you're done with that, again it's opening a document, but no enable editing, but a malware got installed in the background. So how will you analyze? So if you see, you have an options here. You can see it will provide you the list of options. Result like here you have all the graph option, everything. So fine. So if you see, you opened a Chrome. In Chrome, it downloaded a file. When I open that file, it's a document file. So when I open the document, what it says here, 100 out of 100 as a malicious. You can see it drops some known malicious document. Warning, starts Microsoft Office application and application launched itself only. When you click on more info, when you click on that more info, it will give a complete detail for you. What modified files, what registers it changed, what files it got synchronized, HTTP request, connections, network threads, modules, debug, all these options you can see. And where that file was dropped also you can see in my system. Now, after loading this file, what it did, again, next process we can analyze. You can see it went to the PowerShell. Did I open PowerShell anywhere here? Is any PowerShell open here? But you can see in background process, it is showing the PowerShell for you. Is that PowerShell showing for you? When you click on that PowerShell, you can see what it did. The PowerShells downloaded an executable file from the internet. What PowerShell did? It downloads the executable files from the internet. So executable content was dropped or overwritten. Create the files in the user directory. PowerShell scripts is executed and executed via WMI, Windows Management Instrumentation. And what is the script it executed? This script. So how will you analyze what this script exactly? How will you analyze this script? It's completely encoded, right? So how will you analyze this? What is the tool we can use? What are the tools we have to analyze that PowerShell script? I told you about the cyber chef. Do you remember? Last static analysis లో చెప్పా కదా. Cyber chef tool గురించి చెప్పా కదా. So when you see any encodings or any encryption sources, you can give that here. In class బోర్ కొడుతుందా మీకు? Hmm? So then just paste the code here. It's mostly base 64 code ఉంటుంది ఇక్కడ. So just ఈ PowerShell తీసేయండి. ఈ కోడ్ ని బేస్ 64 ఇక్కడ ఉంటాయి మీకు అన్ని URL encoders అని సెర్చ్ చేయొచ్చు. సో బేస్ 64 నుంచి URL డీకోడ్ చేస్తే you can see a null bytes. ఇప్పుడు ఈ కోడ్ ఇక్కడ అనలైజ్ చేయండి. You can see a website http. Can you able to see that? http flux wonders.com null bytes తీసేస్తారు. So this is a website actually up to here. ఇదొక website. So in that website it is dropping a file called 673. Can you see that? Right. So this is how you can encode the files. Right. So like that you can analyze each and every process here. ఇక్కడ జరిగిన ప్రతి ప్రాసెస్ ని మీరు అనలైజ్ చేయొచ్చు. PowerShell నుంచి ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళింది. So PowerShell dropped a application. What is that application name? 643.exe. Same thing here. 673 we have 643.exe. Some other links also that exist. From there, it dropped a serial function.exe. What it do? Application was dropped or overwritten the another process. And then the final P executable file. What it do? You click on more information. It connects to the command and control server. Emitoti was detected. Application was dropped or overwritten from the another process, and it connecting to the server without the host name. And what changes it made? Network threads. What network threads? What are their IP addresses, port numbers, destination IP, destination port number, service ID, everything you can see here in detail. In detail, you can analyze the network traffic also. Got it? So like that, every process you can see, and here they'll show you the graph and everything, but I don't know with the latest version there. Here you have a result option. Let me click on that. So you can see the IOCs, AI summary, everything here. Results, let's see AI summary, what it's giving. So this process is free, shows the execution of several files, including the PowerShell scripts and serial executables. And you can see the file name. The process tree is also indicated that PowerShell scripts being executed with the hidden mode. and that is being called by the Windows PowerShell executable legitimate programs. All right, so you can see giving a detailed explanation. Actually, here it will show you the graph picture result option. Here you can see the network threats, DNS request, connections, what connections it made. Show everything here. Then you get the report option. Here you have, when you click on text report, it will generate a report also. So you can share the report with the clients. So the report has complete information. The behavior activities, malware configuration, static screenshot or videos. You can see the graph. ఇక్కడ మీకు క్రోమ్ నుంచి ఫైల్ డౌన్లోడ్ అయింది, విండోస్లో నేను ఓపెన్ చేసిన విండోస్ పవర్ షెల్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తుంది, సారీ వర్డ్ ఓపెన్ అయింది, ఆ వర్డ్ పవర్ షెల్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తుంది, ఆ పవర్ షెల్ ఈ ఫైల్స్ని డ్రాప్ చేస్తుంది. కంప్లీట్ బిహేవియర్ గ్రాఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ హియర్ and process informations, what files it modified, what files it deleted, what registries it changed, everything, file activities, registry activities, network activities, connections it made, DNS requests, threats, complete report is one of the finest malware analysis tool we have here. Any.run. But it is paid. This is a paid tool. Free basis, you have only limited options. 60 seconds time, Windows 10 operating system only, like that. Some limitations you have. So apart from this, if you want to work out, just go with Cuckoo Sandbox. So it will also try chain. Cuckoo Sandbox. I think it's also required a paid service. So you can try this Cuckoo Sandbox. GitHub లో కూడా ఉంటుంది. Got it? So this is the dynamic. So where we are running the malware in an operating system, and whatever the process it is running in the background, we analyze each and every process. So it will only do everything. No need to download any additional tools like Wireshark or any other monitoring tools here. Not required. So the service itself, they provide that services. Got it? Is that clear? So by doing this, we can able to analyze what it can do in our system, what files it to, what impacts it is creating. Everything we can analyze. So this is the dynamic scenario. So by running the tool, we can analyze what changes it is making in our system, what files it is dropping in our system, what connections it is establishing. All these things we can able to analyze. That is how the dynamic malware analysis will work here. Got it? Is that clear? Right. So some of the activities comes under the dynamic malware analysis is like, sir, are there any malware that cannot be analyzed by any run? No. See, analyzed అని కాదు. As we it is providing an environment and it is giving all the activities what malware is doing, what file is doing. It collect that information like kind of IGOs we call them, and it will provide to you that you need to analyze. అది చెప్తుంది టూల్ ఇది పర్ఫామ్ చేస్తుంది అని. అది ఏం పర్ఫామ్ చేస్తుందని నువ్వు చూసుకోవాలంతే. అది మాల్వేరా కాదని నువ్వు డిసైడ్ చేస్తావు. Tool itself is not giving that activity for you. When it is giving the activity, then it confirms that it is doing a suspicious things based on the patterns what it has. Pattern recognition. So అలా ఏముండదు. ఒకవేళ అది న్యూ మాల్వేర్ అయితే 0-day scenarios అయితే మేబీ అవి ఐడెంటిఫై చేయకపోవచ్చు. See, AnyRun is an environment. It's a sandbox environment where it is offering the virtual environments for you. In that environment, you are running the malware. When you run the malware, it will collect the information what that file do, what that file is doing. So without informing to the user, it is opening the PowerShell in the background and executing a code, and that code is dropping the serial function.exe file, and that serial function is connecting to this CN to C2 servers like command and control servers. So it capture all that activities and then it is deciding is that is suspicious or not, and it is giving the out for you. Got it? అది రన్ చేస్తుంది, దాని డ్యూటీ అది చేస్తుంది, దాని అది ఇచ్చే రిజల్ట్స్ ని మనం అనలైజ్ చేయాలి మళ్ళీ. So some of the activities you need to take care in dynamic malware analysis when there is no sandbox. When you're going with your own virtual environment, you need to go with port scanning, like port monitoring or process monitoring. What process are running in our system? So we have a tools like Procomon. Process monitor tools will be there. Or you need to go with what are the startup. This is manual, you need to analyze. So startup program monitoring. Or Windows service monitoring. Or any installations monitoring. It's manually it will go with this. But we don't need to have all these tools. When you use the sandbox environments, they come up with all these things. It will monitor the files and folder monitoring. It will do all these activities. Your dynamic analysis, you need to go with all these activities like device drivers, monitoring, the main registry monitoring, schedule task monitoring, even your browser activity monitoring. So all these things we need to perform as a dynamic scenario. So there are many so on. So all these things your dynamic malware analysis will perform. Got my point? Is that clear, everyone? So we have tools like any.run, Cuckoo Sandbox, Hybrid, and even there is another tool called like Hackeye, HIWKEYE we call Hackeye. It is a dynamic malware instrumentation tool based on the Fredder.re framework. So this allows you to hook common functions to log the malware activities and output the result in a good web report. So you can try these tool also. Right? And to analyze the Trojan files, we have a tool like Coyote. Coyote we have. You can try this one also. So mostly Trojan analysis basis you can use this tool. Right. So like that, there are many tools exist. So you can analyze them based on their uh, file signatures, their activity actions, what they are performing in our system. Like completely depends on that. Right. So these are the some tools which help you to perform the malware analysis. Correct. There are any doubts in the dynamic malware analysis? P Studio tool, that is code analysis. నిన్న చూపించా కదా కోడ్ అనలైజ్ చేయడానికి. కోడ్లో లైక్ అప్లికేషన్ కోడ్ స్ట్రింగ్స్ అన్ని అనలైజ్ చేస్తుంది. స్టాటిక్ అనాలిసిస్ లో చెప్పాను ఒక టూల్. సో స్ట్రింగ్ అనాలిసిస్ ఎలా చేస్తావు? సో కోడ్ని ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేయాలి కదా. సో కోడ్ని ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేయడానికి పి స్టూడియో యూస్ చేసినాం. ఇట్స్ ఏ స్టాటిక్ సినారియో, డైనమిక్ కాదు. ఇక్కడ మనం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయట్లేదు ఫైల్ని. ఆ ఫైల్ యొక్క కోడ్ని ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసి అనలైజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో అప్పుడు మనం ఈ టూల్ యూస్ చేస్తాం. సో ఈ టూల్ మనకు ఆ కోడ్ని ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసి ఇస్తుంది. దాంట్లో ఏమన్నా అంటే ఆబ్వియస్గా యాక్చువల్ కోడ్ కూడా ఉంటుంది కదా, ఎంబెడ్ చేసిన కోడ్ని కూడా చూపిస్తుంది కాబట్టి మనకు డీటెయిల్గా అనలైజ్ చేయొచ్చు. కరెక్ట్. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ పి స్టూడియో. నేను ఇప్పుడు చెప్పేటివి వచ్చేసి డైనమిక్ మాల్వేర్ అనాలిసిస్. అంటే like these tools will help you to run the application and see what activities it performs inside that. సో ఇది ఒకటి వచ్చేసి ట్రోజన్ అనాలిసిస్, ఇది డిఫరెంట్. సో దీంట్లో ఏంటంటే మనం మాల్వేర్ ని రన్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో స్టాటిక్ లో వీఆర్ నాట్ రన్నింగ్ ది మాల్వేర్, వీఆర్ జస్ట్ ఎక్స్ట్రాక్టింగ్ ది కోడ్ అండ్ వీఆర్ అనలైజింగ్ దట్ కోడ్ వెదర్ ఇట్ కంటైన్స్ ఎనీ malicious signatures or not. When it comes to the dynamic where we are running the code, then we are seeing what activities it is performing, what registers it is modifying, what connections it is making, what service it is using in background. All these things we can analyze. So we can go for more in detail and we can perform the impact analysis also, which files it is targeting. అనేది మనం తెలుసుకోగలుగుతాం. సో బిహేవియరల్ అనాలిసిస్ we can say. Got it? Is that clear? Any doubts? So this is the malware analysis అనేది ఒక పెద్ద టాపిక్ ఇక్కడ. సో ఇట్స్ ఎ హ్యూజ్ కాన్సెప్ట్. యూ నీడ్ బి గుడ్ ఎట్ అసెంబ్లీ లాంగ్వేజ్, మైక్రో ప్రాసెసర్స్, ఇవన్నీ నేర్చుకోవాలి మీరు టాప్లో వెళ్ళాలంటే, అడ్వాన్స్కి వెళ్ళాలంటే. ఇప్పుడు మీరు పర్ఫామ్ చేస్తుందంటే లైక్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ పర్ఫామ్ నౌ ఈస్ అ బేసిక్ అనాలిసిస్ యాక్చువల్లీ, యూజింగ్ సమ్ థర్డ్ పార్టీ సోర్సెస్. If you want to do or dive more in detail, you need to be good at coding also. Getting my point? So this is what dynamic malware analysis and static malware analysis. So what you guys have to do is, so just see what is malware, and I need you guys to work out on types of malwares. And in that, every malware functionality, detections, or you can say this as a indicators, and mitigations I need of every malware type which we discussed. And apart from that, just see what is APTs, advanced persistent threats will be there. So just look into what is APTs, what is ఫైల్లెస్ మాల్వేర్స్ ఇప్పుడంతా ఇదే మార్కెట్. ఫైల్లెస్ మాల్వేర్స్ యూస్ చేస్తారు. So just see what is this fileless malwares, APTs, and all these things. Okay. So I need a documentation on this. These things you need to focus on in malware. Just take this topics as your assignment from this malware module. So వీటి నుంచి మీకు క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి ఇంటర్వ్యూలో కూడా. So every malware you need to aware of with their functionality, detection, and mitigations. Then only you can able to stop that attacks. When you know their attack methodologies, then only you can able to detect them or prevent them. So it's very important to know about that. So mostly you need to concentrate on every malware type like virus, worms, again virus types, worms, trojans, ransomware, their activities, their functionalities, their detections, indications, and mitigations. I need more in detail about that. And then take the additional topics like APTs, fileless malware. This is a trend right now in the market. Advanced persistent threats and fileless malwares. So just look over that and see what is IOC's indicators of compromise. And just now I said what is sandbox environments. Simply you can call that as isolated environments. See how they can be set up and see malware analysis. What is malware analysis and why malware analysis and types of malware analysis. So this is what you need to go through this topic in this module. Got it? Right. So we'll stop it here for today. So on Monday again, we'll start a new module. So till then, make sure to complete this module everyone. Is that concept clear for you? అర్థమవుతుందా? నేను ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తున్నాను మీకు అర్థమవుతుందా? సో ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. నాకు తెలిసి ఇంకా స్టాటిక్ ఎవరు ట్రై చేయలేదు. స్టాటిక్ మాల్వేర్ అనాలిసిస్ ట్రై చేయండి. డైనమిక్ ఒకవేళ ఎనీ రన్ మీకు అవుతుంది అంటే ట్రై చేయండి. లేదు అంటే లీవ్ ఇట్. Okay, just understand that concept. Okay, but do static analysis. I have given the file also for you. So unless the suspicious document, download from drive that keyword malware and try it, work out on them. Okay. All right. So that's it. That's it for today, guys. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session. Have a great day. See you on Monday again. Thank you.